Hi, it's Danielle Wiley from Sway Group with another Twofer Tuesday for you. And the first thing I want to talk about today is representation. It's been talked about a lot, especially recently with the Oscars and the lack of diversity within the nominees. And certainly I watched the announcements of the nominees and was kind of irritated just on the face of it to see so few nominees of color, so few nominees who were women. And then last weekend, I was just kind of sitting on my couch sick all weekend, watching a bunch of movies and TV shows. And I watched Dolomite Is My Name, and I just got even more furious because that movie was awesome and deserved all the nominations. And I keep coming back to something I heard once from Elisa Camahort Page from probably known best for being one of the founders of Blog Her, but I was at a Blog Her event a few years ago, and she talked about the fact that when they first started the conference, one of the issues that they had was that the attendees were very much white, and there was just not enough representation of women of color. And so they made a conscious decision to make sure that in coming years, at least 40% of all speakers, and Elisa can correct me if I'm wrong with some of these details in the comments, because this was a couple of years ago now, but again, it has really stuck with me and I talk about it a lot. They made this decision to make sure that all speakers were at least 40% women of color moving forward, because that was where they had control. There was limited control in terms of who was going to buy a ticket to attend, but what they could control was who they were selecting as speakers, and the thought was that would trickle down and make an impact. And lo and behold, it did. And I kept coming back to that same thing as I've been sitting here stewing about the Oscars and just representation in general, that you can't just sit around and wait for this to happen. You have to make a change. If the people on the Academy are not representative of the population as a whole and are not diverse, you're going to end up with nominees who are not diverse. It's pretty simple. The same thing, just to kind of tie it into influencer marketing, since that's what we do here at Sway. But it's the same thing for us. If we give a client a list of influencers to choose from and that list is not diverse, you're going to end up with influencers on a program who are not diverse. It's very, very simple. We even go so far as to, if we present our clients with a list and they make selections that are not diverse, despite us providing a larger list that does have diversity, we will on our own dime add in some more diversity, because we're just not okay with not making an effort to push things in a better direction. So that's my soapbox speech about representation and diversity and being proactive about it. I think it's really important. Then the other thing I wanted to talk about is, I don't even know how to frame it. Kindness and bringing light. This keeps coming up for me, so it's just something that's in my mind a lot. I did a spinning class over the weekend, and the theme of it was kindness, and not having empty kindness, but really having kindness in your heart towards people and carrying it around with you. And then I went to yoga class this morning, and the mantra was bring light, give light. So I don't know, the universe is telling me something, and this is coming at me from all directions. And so it's something that's on my mind, and it's something I'm going to try to incorporate. And I figured I would share it. I would bring the light here to LinkedIn and hopefully spread some of that light, because I think we could use a little bit more light and kindness these days, huh?